10 footballers who lost everything. 10. Yo, number 10 on this list is Paul Merson. I mean, this man lit up Arsenal from 1985 to 1997. Back then, he was on top of the world, and he was earning enough to own a house, drive fancy cars, and live comfortably. But fast forward to 2006 and reality hit him hard post-retirement. Despite the glory days, my man Merson was forced to face a harsh reality, a gambling addiction that swallowed up millions. Gambling addiction hit him like a ton of bricks and lost him his hard-earned millions. Dude tried to clean up his act, even hit up rehab, but the craving for a bet was like a stubborn hangover. By 2019, Merson spilled the beans on his battle with gambling and booze. The struggle was real, man. He lost his house deposit and went from being a homeowner to crashing in a rented apartment. It's a tale of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Triumphs on the field, but real-life struggles that hit close to home. Fast forward to today, though, and there's a glimmer of hope. Merson's found himself a new gig as a pundit on Sky Sports. That's the kind of comeback we love, right? Despite the wild ride, he's carving out some stability in the sports commentary game, proving there's always a chance to bounce back even when the chips are down. Pun intended. 9. Now, let's talk about Asamoah Gyan. You remember? The dude who messed up that crucial penalty against Uruguay, messing up Ghana's shot at being the first African squad to hit the World Cup semis. Yeah, tough break. Fast forward to 2022 though, and Morocco was able to accomplish that feat, but that's a different story. So, in 2018, Gyan, the ex-Sunderland hotshot, used to roll in a flashy golden Rolls-Royce. But after he hung up his boots and called it quits, he came out to spill the beans on the fact that his bank account was only having a measly $180 post-retirement, a far cry from his glory days. I mean, can you believe it? This guy was once pulling in a cool £220,000 every week while kicking it at Shanghai SIPG. Now he's singing a different tune, struggling to make ends meet. Retirement hit him and the cash flow dried up quicker than a puddle in the desert. It's a real tearjerker for someone who used to be a high roller on the football scene. 8. We're now on to the 8th dude on the list, and that's no one else but Eric Djemba Djemba. You know, the guy who rocked the midfield for Manchester United back in the day. The former Cameroon international rubbed shoulders with legends like Cristiano Ronaldo and Ryan Giggs at United, living the high life on and off the pitch. But fast forward a bit, and he wrapped up his career with a quick gig at a French 5th-tier club called Chateaubriand, which, I mean, is levels below his Old Trafford glory days. You'd think a dude who kicked it with the big boys at Manchester United and other Euro teams would be sitting pretty, right? Well, think again. Just 4 years after saying goodbye to Aston Villa, he hit rock bottom and declared bankruptcy. Now he's hustling in the Indian Super League and grinding it out in the French 5th division, just trying to make ends meet. Life's a rollercoaster, man, and even ex-football stars ain't immune to the ups and downs. 7. Alright, let's spill the tea on Keith Gillespie, the dude who tore it up as a winger for both Manchester United and Newcastle United. This guy even steered Newcastle into the Champions League and was a big deal for the Northern Ireland national team. But here's the kicker. In 2010, at the age of 35, he dropped the bombshell that he was bankrupt. Yup, gambling. He rolled the dice and lost a whopping £7 million when his playing days were winding down. Now, why would a successful player like Gillespie hit the tables? Well, no one knows, but it seems like the retirement reality hit him more than he could imagine, and he was left scrambling for some extra cash, or maybe he was just bored. Before he retired, my man probably thought, why not try my luck with gambling? But turns out that gamble didn't exactly play out like he wanted, and now he's dealing with the aftermath of a not-so-lucky streak. 6. Yo, Celestine Babayaro, man, the left-back machine. I mean, this dude held it down for Chelsea during their golden era. My man was a key player in the rise of Chelsea, but things took a turn when he shifted to Newcastle in 2005. Wayne Bridges' A-game edged him out of his spot at Chelsea, and Babayaro spent 3 years at Newcastle before taking a detour to the MLS, kicking it with LA Galaxy, but that only lasted 3 months. He hung up his boots officially in 2010. But guess what happened just a year later? The guy went bankrupt, and the details are shrouded in mystery. Did he roll the dice too much? Gambling. Or did he make some bad investments? Your guess is as good as mine. No one knows why. 5. Man, you gotta know about Ronaldinho, right? The dude was the bomb back in 2005, winning that Ballon d'Or and tearing it up with Barcelona. Even when he moved to AC Milan in 2008, the guy still had some tricks up his sleeve, but you could tell his prime days were in the rear view. Money-wise, he was living large with fancy cars and a huge crib, and he knew how to throw a wild party. But here's the twist, all that partying, it played a big role in him going broke around 2018. Reports said Ronaldinho was flat broke, owing more than 1.7 million, and he got hit with fines for shady construction stuff back in Brazil. He tried remortgaging his place, but it barely made a dent, leading to his passport getting snatched in 2020. And that's not the end of it. Ronaldinho got into a whole mess in Paraguay in 2020. Dude got arrested for rolling into the country with fake papers. I mean, come on. It just added more fuel to the fire of his financial mess. But thankfully though, the legend seems to be back on his feet. 4. Look, no disrespect to Diego Maradona, but let's be real, the guy was like the drama king of the football world. I mean, the hand of God, doping scandals, and even throwing down on the pitch. Maradona was a walking soap opera. And it ain't just the game, bro. The way the guy managed money should be a blockbuster movie in itself. Anyway, dude owed a whooping 37 million euros in taxes, fines, and whatnot from his Napoli days. And that's not chump change. He blames some Napoli directors for not giving him the heads up quickly enough. Classic Maradona move, right? But real talk, it's a mystery whether Maradona actually knew he was swimming in tax trouble, or if he was just playing dumb. He straight up said that he had no plans to travel to Italy until and unless such a bill was passed by the parliament. Plus, to sweeten the deal, he's thrown 42 grand, a couple of Rolexes, and his bling into the pot, trying to wipe the dead slate clean. 3. Alright, so at third place we're talking about David James. Yup, the David James. This guy guarded the net for big teams like Liverpool, Manchester City, Aston Villa, West Ham and Portsmouth. The dude's got an impressive resume, winning the FA Cup and League Cup. But hold on, the plot twist hits after he hangs up his gloves in 2014. James shouts out bankruptcy. Can you believe it? Despite cashing in more than £20 million in his 25-year career, he's suddenly broke. How? Now, let's rewind to 2005. That's when James's rollercoaster ride starts. Divorce came in, and debt started piling up like dirty laundry. To keep his head above water, he started auctioning off his signed shirts. His England jersey from that iconic 2002 World Cup win over Argentina sold for £672. That Liverpool FC goalie jersey from 95 to 96. His Portsmouth #1 shirt from 08, that bad boy went for a cool £480. Oh, and get this, an unused antique Raleigh chopper bike he had lying around sold. How do you go from millions of pounds to selling off stuff for a couple £100? 2. Next up, we have Lee Henry. This dude was rocking it as a young gun for England back in the late 90s. He was pulling in a cool £3,000 weekly while he was with Aston Villa. 11 years he gave to that club, and he had 251 appearances and 27 goals. Not too shabby, right? He even helped Villa grab the League Cup twice. But hang on, the plot thickens. December 27th, 2012, Henry's hit with the bankruptcy bomb. Lost nearly £10 million in some dodgy real estate deal. And let's be real, his flashy lifestyle didn't help matters. Now, here's the real talk. Henry faced some dark times. The man had 2 suicide attempts, can you believe it? But somehow, he pulled through. As if that wasn't all, divorce hit him in the face. Fast forward to today, and you'll find Lee Henry as a pundit on Sky Sports. 1. Ayo! Top of our list is no one else but my man Gara. My man played with clubs like Botafogo and Corinthians, making waves on the pitch. But off the turf, his life was wild. Picture this: heavy drinking, crazy road trips, and one of them ended in tragedy, with his mother-in-law losing her life in a lorry crash back in '69. Now, Garrincha wasn't just a one-woman kind of guy. Married twice, first to Naya Marquez, popping out a whole squad of 8 daughters, and then hitching up with samba singer Elsa Soares in '66. But that love train derailed in '77 after Garrincha decided to throw a punch in an argument. Fast forward to '83, and he's out with cirrhosis of the liver, drowning in an alcoholic coma in Rio de Janeiro. He practically lived in the hospital those last years. Forgotten hero, they say. But when he died, millions showed up for his funeral procession from Maracana to Pau Grande, paying their respects. His tombstone shouts, "Here rests in peace the one who was the joy of the people, Mané Garrincha." And Brasilia even named a whole stadium after him, the Estadio Nacional Mané Garrincha. There are even movies about him. Garrincha Alegria do Povo in '62 and Garrincha Estrella Solitaria in 2003. No cap, the man's life story is probably the wildest thing you've heard today. And there you have it. Know any more footballers who lost it all? Let's discuss in the comments.